everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Drunkard's Walk. That's right. It's the podcast where we walk in a drunken fashion. And as much as I would love to do that kind of thing on my own, I cannot. I need a steadying, sober hand to guide me. And that hand is attached to an arm, and that arm is plugged into a shoulder socket, and that shoulder socket belongs to the torso that carries the head of Matt Hartman.
Hey, Jethro, how's it going, buddy?
It's going grand. How are you doing this fine day?
Man, I'm going to be honest with you, buddy. I've had a rough one.
Oh boy, have you gone on another one of your adventures?
It's been rough. I'm so glad to see you because I actually I recently lost a really close friend of mine. So what happened is we're in the Navy, and we went to compete at this flight competition they have that's called Top Gun. Mm-hmm. And we were getting into some really extreme situations, and I mean, I was doing pretty well. There were some real jerks around, and I was really putting them in their place with beach volleyball and all the ways that you normally put people in their place. Mm-hmm. And then my co-pilot, we had to eject, and he hit the canopy, and anyway. It wasn't great, but I'd like to say that I did eventually win, and I rode a motorcycle about as fast as you can, right next to a bunch of planes taking off.
Well, I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. I hope that you haven't lost that love and feeling towards him, though.
No. I mean, I feel like it was my own fault for kind of going into that danger zone. You know what I mean? But
I've been to the danger zone.
I'm sure that you have, but You do what you got to do, and I did what I did, and here we are. So I'm glad
nobody's going to break my stride. Nobody's going to slow me down.
Okay. Well, it's good to see you, man, and I'm excited to go on this journey, this walk. But here's the thing: as excited as I am to see you and to be talking to you, I am a little tired of you.
No, I get that a lot. My personality is best in small doses. And let's face it, God bless the listeners of this podcast for putting up with this monotonous quippery for 6 seasons. Like, God bless for people who can stomach it. But yeah, I agree. We should do something different this time.
Well, I feel like every season there's been a little oasis, and that oasis has been the opportunity to bring in some folks very close to us who would actually do the walk with us.
But we've already had Dave Foreman on, though. So
yeah, right, exactly. So I thought, since we've already had Dave on, why don't we bring our wives back instead?
Oh, right, wives. Hey, look, they're already here. Hello, wives.
There they are.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
That is a deep callback.
Yeah, sure is.
The rusty microphone use.
I'm just trying to figure out which one of us is Meg Ryan and which one of us is Kelly McGillis.
Oh, yeah, that's tricky. I had a little bit of a girl crush on Meg Ryan growing up, so can I be
Yes, her hair looks so good in that movie.
Oh,
that's the only part of that film that has aged well.
Movie? What are you talking about? What movie?
Oh
yeah.
Wink. That experience that you had.
Yeah, that you
shared
life
experience. Yes.
Ladies, it's so good to have you back on the podcast. Thanks for joining us. Of course, it's Kristy, Nolen, and Emma Hartman, and they're going to be walking with us today, but in a kind of a different fashion. So we did husbands versus wives, and then we did Hartman's versus Nolen's, and so this time we're changing it up a little bit. And it's going to be Jethro and Emma versus Matt and Kristy.
It's crazy. It's just so crazy. It just might work.
Yeah, exactly. That's just how crazy it is. And I'm really excited about this. I can't wait. So I believe this week you're going to hear the walk for with Emma and Jethro. Mm-hmm. And then next week you'll hear Kristy and I journey off to a destination of some kind. But Jethro, we don't have any destinations. We only have a starting point.
No, don't you remember we normally have a guest give us the destination? We've done that literally every time. I'm surprised you forgot.
Right. Yeah. Every week goes by and I have such ridiculous times. But is that why Alexa Warden is here right now?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, Alexa. How's it going?
It's going so great. It's so good to see you, Matt Hartman. And hi, Emma and Kristy and Jethro.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi.
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it is great to see you too. Now we have to talk a little bit about how we know each other. So, unlike many of our guests, we did not meet in the world of improv. We met in another world where you make a bunch of stuff up and people believe you, called education. And I mean, that's not what I was doing in my classes.
Yeah, for any Republicans listening, that was a joke.
Alexa was the principal, is the principal of the school that I used to teach at. And I taught there for 8 years, and it was a great experience. But Alexa, tell us a little bit about the GW Community School.
Well, we're a small independent school, and we really focus on authentic learning. And I think the thing I love about it best is that everyone brings so much of themselves to the school. So when Matt Hartman was working at the school, first of all, he was always known as Mr. Hartman, or when the staff was talking, it was always Matt Hartman and never just Matt, never
Right.
Hartman.
Right.
But he brought a lot of life and excitement to the school. So for PE, every day was hockey.
Not
were no
every
other
day. No,
sports.
not every day. That's not true.
Every day was hockey on the tennis courts. And Matt Hartman picked the teams as well.
Now that's not true. Now that I am going to argue with, because I would have one student pick the teams and another student pick which team they wanted. It was the I pick, you choose scenario, which is always the best way to get the even teams, because the person building the teams, if they build one that's stacked, then the other person's just going to pick that team. So they never did it.
Well, then one of our coworkers is an unreliable narrator.
Oh, yeah. I bet I know which one it is, too.
We won't name names.
Mhm.
But Matt was so great. He was so much fun to work with. And he brought poker to our school. The staff used to get together and play Texas Hold'em, which was great. He brought theater to our school, and we even performed one of his plays, Dance Like No One's Watching, which was phenomenal, and I want to bring it back. So we're waiting for the update so it can be current for 2022.
Yeah, it is not aged well, I don't think.
Wait, you wrote a play?
Yeah.
I didn't.
And we performed it. And it was wonderful.
Is it on video?
Yeah,
That's all I need to know.
Oh, it's on video.
Oh,
nice. The bidding will begin at $1,000.
But I wasn't in the show at GW.
No, but we performed it. And
right,
you were the
right.
director.
Yes, that's correct.
And
I think
the writer.
we did it twice, didn't we? Did we only do it once? I don't remember. I can't remember if we did two different casts or not.
I can't remember either.
I don't know.
And another thing that Matt brought to the school was a lot of travel. So that was super fun. So Matt and I took kids to London, England. We took kids to the National Parks tour, which included a stop in Las Vegas, where the kids would collect the cards of sex workers and trade them.
That's true. Yes.
And we also took a very memorable trip to New York City.
Oh, God. Yeah, that was the worst one.
I'm learning a lot
Worse
about
than-
my husband right now.
wow.
Did you do 9/11? Is that?
No.
Oh, no.
No, good Lord.
No.
Come
Okay,
on now.
good. I just
No.
you said it,
No.
like it was clearly worse than giving children pamphlets for sex workers. So,
So we stayed in, well, first of all, we went through a tour company, which I won't name here either because I don't want to, besmirch them in any way. But
Do you think that's still in business?
I do think they probably
Really?
are. Yeah. They booked us in a hotel in Brooklyn, but not like the nice part of Brooklyn. And the reason that we were that far out of like Manhattan or anything like that is because it was the weekend of the New York Marathon, which they never told us or brought up when we were planning it. They were just like, yeah, okay, fine. So we were trying to get to like, all of the tourist locations and things like that. And they were like, oh yeah, well, you just walk a couple blocks down here and then you get on a bus and then you take that to here and then you go to, and I was like, are you kidding me? I've got like 25 kids here. You're out of your mind. So we were in the hotel at one point, sitting in the lobby, which wasn't really much of a lobby. It was like kind of a hallway with some stairs that went off of it. And then at the end, the desk was like behind glass, right? It was that type of hotel. And we were just kind of sitting and talking, and this guy came up to us dressed in a windbreaker from Notre Dame, and he was like, what are you doing here? And we were like, oh, we're on a tour where we get these kids in school. And he was like, are you from Ohio? And we were like, well, no, we're from Washington, D.C. Why? He was like, you shouldn't have kids here. We were like, what? And then he like pulled up his thing and he showed us the badge that he had on. He was an undercover cop, and he was like, yeah, this whole area, this place is under investigation, and this is not a good place to have children.
Wow.
That was the first night that we were there.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Called the tour company, and they didn't do a thing, so we stayed there. We stayed there for 4 or 5 days, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
We had an experience where cab drivers, we were at the Empire State Building, and we had to get into separate cabs to get all the kids back. Fortunately, we had just enough adults to make that happen. And, one cab didn't have an adult. It just had upperclassmen in it. And
two cabs didn't have adults.
Wow.
Yeah, and one of those cabs stopped at the Brooklyn Bridge and said, I won't cross the bridge, and kicked the kids out of the cab. So they were standing on the side of the road.
And I'm guessing this was all pre-cell phones.
No, we did have a cell phone because the kids called me and I was like, kids, stay where you are. Look for a sign. What is it? And I had to talk my cab driver into going in and picking up those 4 kids. And you had to go pick up some kids too. And so we had 8 kids in the cab.
Yep.
And why? Because the L train
yes, the L train
shut down at a certain time of night. And that is where you guys will be traveling tonight, is the L train.
No kidding.
Nice.
Oh yes. You will be traveling on the L train, a train that we used a lot to get into Brooklyn. At our hotel, we would be able to walk by the huge mural of Biggie. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And Matt was so gracious because when we were there, it was 2006, and the trains were just so incredibly packed. And at one point, I told him, I was like, Matt, I'm having a panic attack. Like, I got to get off this train. He's like, we will all get off the train and we will walk the 30 blocks with you to our next destination. That's going to be your destination. And
it wasn't 30 blocks.
Remember
and I think that actually was in London that we got off the train.
Oh,
I think we were in the London Underground when we all got off the train. Because it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it was even
underground,
a more unknown land. Yeah,
two.
No, the New York subway is when one of our students had a bloody nose, left the group, and I had to run after him, and everyone else got on the train and took off, and he was standing over a trash can trying to stop his nose from bleeding, took his shirt off and was using that to make his nose stop bleeding. Eventually it did, and I was like, well, let's try to call them. Nope, no service because we're underground. Don't know where they went. Have no idea how to catch up with them. I guess we'll just figure it out later.
Yikes.
I'm starting to think that maybe you shouldn't travel with school children.
Not with that group. And you know where we went the next year? Disney World. And that is the place to be, I'll tell you what, because nobody gets lost. Everything is totally safe. Everything's closed in. We could even go to the park and be like, meet back here in 3 hours. And they would, and they did, and you felt, there were no worries. It was.
So are you saying that Disney World isn't the same as New York City? I'm not keeping
That's what
up.
I'm trying to say. Yes.
So
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're slightly different. Yeah, slightly.
Good to know. All right. I'm going to make some notes for future travel.
This is upsetting where I'm going back to the L train. But it is also I think at one point I was on the L train in London when I got on the I as well. But that's a totally different L train. If I'm not mistaken.
So is this specific? Sorry, I need to ask questions because out of the four of us, Alexa, I'm the only one that hasn't won. And so, oh gosh, Alexa's listening.
You can't say her name without our echo turning on. Yeah.
It's no problem with me and Zoom.
I'm looking for all the good tips because Jethro, we're going to win tonight.
Oh, we got it.
Oh,
yeah.
Come on. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
So this is the L train specific location?
Yeah, so the L train is the train that runs from Manhattan to Brooklyn. And the actual name of it is L, New York City Subway Service, the letter L.
So that's the name of the page.
That's the name of the page.
Okay.
L, New York City Subway Service.
Got it. Okay.
We don't want to have another brisket scenario.
No, we do not want another brisket scenario. So last time we did this, we went to brisket. Brisket was our destination. We went to brisket Jewish dish, and we were supposed to have gone to brisket proper, and we didn't realize there were different pages. So it was confusing.
It was a rough night in the Hartman household.
Oh yeah, it was. It was a rough one.
Excellent.
Cool.
Well, I'm a big fan of the destination. I'm a big fan of mass transit. The fact that this is emotionally scarring for Matt is just a bonus. But I really appreciate the destination.
It's no David S. Pumpkins.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's true.
let's be clear.
That's true, honey. That was very clever and fun.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks. Call to call back. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well done.
Hashtag comedy.
Well, thank you so much, Alexa. It was so good to see you. Thanks for giving us this topic. Thanks for chatting for a while. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.
I hope so. And good luck on the L train.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
All right. Well, I think it is time for Kristy and I to say goodbye for this episode. We will join you all again next week. We'll let Jethro and Emma take it from here. And then Jethro and Emma, you'll join us at the end next week to discuss how it all went down, if that sounds good to you.
To discuss how we won.
Saving the best for last. I get
Let's
it.
hope not. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, that's why we're coming in last to discuss how we won.
No. You get you get the comment. Got it.
All right. Well, good luck, you two. And we'll talk to you next week.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, Emma. We've got some work to do here. I know that we each want to crush our spouses.
I mean, yeah, in the most painful way possible.
Wow,
I'm only listen, I don't want to crush Kristy. Just Matthew. Because I'm a little bit competitive when it comes to my husband.
I applaud you. That's very mature. I can guarantee you that Kristy would be delighted to destroy me. So we'll have to consider both of them our enemies for the next few minutes. So we didn't really talk about it before, but we're starting at the Larry Sanders Show. Are you at all familiar with the Larry Sanders Show?
Yes. It's not something I know what it is. But it's not something that I've really watched.
So it is a TV show starring Gary Shandling that was on HBO back in the day. Did you have HBO in England?
We've not when this was on, I don't think.
Yeah. So it's like a mid-90s show about a talk show host named Larry Sanders and sort of all the shenanigans that go on behind the scenes with the staff of that show. And there's a lot of celebrity cameos in it, but it's very funny and smart and delightful. And like all comedy made in the 90s, some of it has aged poorly and some of it has aged well. So
it sounds like it may. I mean, maybe I should watch it. It sounds fun.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. But let me drop the link there in the chat. Or if are you already on the?
I opened it up. It's just straight up the Larry Sanders Show, right?
That's it. You're on the right page.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we also, I guess, I don't know if we have to guess because Matt and I are on different things, but just for funsies, you want to guess how many links it's going to take us to get there?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to take us 4 links.
You like 4? I'll write down 4. Yes. Now, there's a very obvious path that is the geographic path, which I I know I don't know if you're a listener of the podcast, but we often poo-poo the geographic path just because it seems like a simple way to get there, but it would almost certainly destroy them because they will not take it. So that's
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, gosh, I feel like I kind of just want to break the rules just so I can be like, we got it in one. Boom.
Ooh, I do see one option here. So at the beginning of the article, they're talking about other TV shows. And one of the TV shows that they talk about is 30 Rock, which is named after 30 Rockefeller Plaza, which is a building in New York. So not only would we get to New York pretty quickly, but we wouldn't be taking the geographic route. So
I like that a lot. This is a longer page, so I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom and make sure that there's nothing that we're missing. But I really, really like that as an option.
The only other thing that stands out to me as a possibility is maybe there is because there's a lot of TV shows that are referenced on here. There might be something that references a TV show that that showcases the subway in some way.
Yeah. I was just looking the same thing, and I just found the New York Post, which would also be kind of a way for us to get.
They'll definitely get us to New York.
I wonder where are some of these. Yeah, there really is.
Too many guest stars. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
I mean, maybe. I'm trying to figure out if there was any awards, because they have like a list of like awards and honors. If any of them are like classically held in New York versus LA.
Yeah, I'm seeing like Cable Ace Awards, British Comedy Awards, American Comedy Awards, the Peabody Awards. I'm not seeing anything that is New York specific that's striking me in the face.
I do like 30 Rock though.
30 Rock is a good one. I like New York Post as well, but I like 30 Rock a little bit more.
I agree. Yeah, I just see a lot of names.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if there was someone that was just known as being a New Yorker, maybe that would be helpful.
Yeah, I'm not saying like Rudy Giuliani on here or somebody like that.
Like where, for instance, like where is Jerry Seinfeld from?
Jerry Seinfeld is from New York, or at least the New York area, I believe. Maybe Long Island.
Long Island. That sounds right.
But 30 Rock gets us to the heart of New York City.
The New York Times is in there too. But yeah, I think let's do it. Let's go 30 Rock.
All right. Now 30 Rock is going to take us to the TV show 30 Rock. And away we go.
You know, that's another TV show that I've never watched.
30 Rock?
Yeah. Is it any good?
It's very, I enjoy it very much. Again, I think that it's very self-referential. Like it was created by Tina Fey, who was head writer at Saturday Night Live. And there's a lot of sort of in comedy, but it's very much up my alley because it's kind of like a lot of the sort of Second City references and whatnot harken back to Tina Fey's days in doing improv in Chicago. And I was sort of just after her a few years in terms of the improv scene in Chicago. In fact, one of the reasons I ended up in Chicago was that in college, I went to a Second City touring company show in Waco, Texas. And the touring company had Tina Fey and Amy Poehler in it.
Huh.
And we all ended up at the same Chili's after the show because we all wanted a beer, and it was Waco, Texas. So like there was only one place to go in Waco to get a beer. And so we ended up talking to them, and they gave us the phone number of the woman who ran the Improv Olympic.
Wow.
That's kind of what led me to move to Chicago.
That is epic.
It really, really is.
What a memory. I don't really have any of those, but I mean, You guys and your improv history is just incredible. And I feel like you could do a whole podcast just chatting about your experiences.
That's right. I can talk about all my peers that went on to success and
yeah.
and how bitter and hateful I am towards them.
No, it could just be that.
No. I'm very happy. There's like one or two people that have become successful that I'm not thrilled about just because they're assholes. But the vast majority of people I know who've made it in the biz are funny, hardworking, nice people, and I'm very
just happy. Good people. Yeah, you could call a podcast "Bitter Lemon."
Ooh, nice. I like it. All
right. So I do see that the Rockefeller Center is linked up top, and then we've got a lot of
so there's a section on filming that references a bunch of places where it's filmed. Silver Cup Studios in Long Island City, Queens, New York. This is where my not particularly strong knowledge of New York geography is going to hurt us, because I don't really know Brooklyn from Queens from anywhere else other than just by their names.
Yeah, and I've only been to New York City twice. I stayed in Brooklyn once.
I did too. I was in Brooklyn. The first time I went to New York, I was in Brooklyn for like 36 hours. And I ran into, who is the guy, the lead actor from Game of Thrones who plays the dwarf?
Jon Snow. Oh, no.
Tyrion Lannister. God, I can't, I'm blanking.
It'll come to me.
I was in Brooklyn for 36 hours for a wedding, and I saw that guy on 2 different occasions. So I guess I was near where he lives.
I mean, gosh, do you just attract famous people? Although I guess Amy Poehler wasn't famous when.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chicago is just one of those magnets for improv comedy stuff. And Park Slope, Brooklyn is a Tony neighborhood that my buddy got married in. So as much as I would love to think that the universe is revolving around me, it probably isn't in this instance.
Yeah, oh gosh, I forget what his name is. Okay. Well,
Peter
Dinklage.
There you go, Peter Dinklage.
Dinklage, yes.
Yeah. It was very weird because he had his gigantic dog that he was walking.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I guess I didn't know that he lived in New York.
There you go. I didn't either, but apparently a lot of people do. It's a very
it's a big city.
And so this 30 Rock page is actually quite large. I'm having a hard time sifting through it well enough to be able to determine, like, is there a link to Brooklyn here? Is there a link to the Metropolitan Transit Authority or MTA?
Yeah, I've been doing it. It just keeps talking about all of the awards and nominations the show got. Again, maybe 30 Rock is something I should watch.
It's a good show. It's a good show. I mean, it's like a network show, so it's like 22 episodes a season, and it's like, I don't know, 7 seasons or whatever. So there's a large number of episodes to get all the way through it, and some are better than 137 episodes to be precise, and some are better than others. But there's a lot of great stuff there.
Ted Danson. So I didn't know that Ted Danson was the guy in Cheers.
You didn't know? Well, I mean,
no.
You get a pass though, because you grew up in England. So
no, I did. Yeah, I did. But so Matt and I listen to shows. We'll like listen to a show, but we won't watch it like as we're falling asleep, just as kind of like white noise. And so we started listening to Cheers. So I've listened to Cheers completely 3 times. And it wasn't until the 3rd time we listened that I realized that it was Ted Danson.
Who did you think it was before you realized it was Ted Danson?
I mean, just kind of, just American guy actor. Like, I had no idea who it actually was until Matt was like, oh yeah, and Ted Danson. I was like, wait, what? No. And then he picked up his phone to show me, and I was just floored, absolutely floored. Also, they put way too much makeup on that guy in that show.
Oh yeah, no, he was pretty dolled up for Cheers. Yeah. And he's gone
Oh,
on to be in a number of great sitcoms.
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
The Good Place. He's
The
fantastic.
Good Place was just phenomenal. And that's where I kind of honestly know him from, because we love The Good Place so much. And again, not growing up in America, I grew up on Blackadder and
Blackadder's so good.
Monty Python and all of these very British shows. So
I grew up on those as well. So that's not
that's
a bad
because they're excellent.
They are.
Dad's Army. Did you ever watch Dad's Army?
I haven't, but it's on the list now. I will say though that the first season of Blackadder is terrible.
Oh yeah. You
like
don't want to watch the first.
All right, so I have something that has struck my fancy that I want to throw out your way. So I noticed that Tracy Morgan is listed on here, which is not surprising given that he's one of the stars. I think he is from Brooklyn. So that might get us possibly to Brooklyn, because I don't see any mass transit links that are specifically mentioned here in this article thus far.
Yeah, I can't find any either. The only thing that I found that is kind of vaguely related is like New York media, like newspapers and magazines and whatnot. But I think that we would be better off going to someone that potentially lived in Brooklyn or is from Brooklyn. And so where do you see his name?
So if you go to the top of the article, in the second paragraph down, they mention the stars in the supporting cast of the show, and Tracy Morgan says the series stars with a supporting cast that includes Alec Baldwin, Tracy Morgan, Jane Krakowski, etc.
I see it.
So I feel like Tracy Morgan is a good option for us. There are also some other in the film under filming. There's some New York neighborhoods specifically that are mentioned, but I'm not seeing anything in Brooklyn. And it is, I don't know exactly. This train goes from Manhattan to Brooklyn. So I would say Manhattan or Brooklyn are probably the neighborhoods we want to hit. Now there is a mention under filming of Battery Park City, Manhattan. But again, I don't know the geography of New York well enough to know if that's anywhere near the L train or not.
Yeah, I think we should go with Tracy Morgan.
All right, let's do it. Tracy Morgan it is. Bing, bang, boom.
All right, give us
Tracy
something
Morgan.
good.
Born November 10th, 1968, is an American stand-up comedian, actor best known for his television work on SNL and 30 Rock. Boo, boo, boo. Early
He's a
life.
funny
He
guy.
was born in Brooklyn. That's great. You know what's not great?
Yeah.
Brooklyn is not linked.
Come on.
Oh no, wait. It is linked over on the right-hand side under his picture. So
Oh, wait.
What?
Also, crack cocaine.
Crack cocaine. Morgan sold crack cocaine with limited success. I gotta say, that's an indictment of Tracy Morgan because from what I've heard, crack sells itself. And
I mean, that's what I've heard.
here we go. Have you ever tried crack, Emma?
No.
All right. Neither have I. Oh, well.
No. My drink was spiked one time that I was at a party where there was definitely cocaine fun times happening. And so I may have at one point done it without wanting to, but
Ooh, that's not fun.
oh no. I hung out with some idiots and I was an idiot, and thank goodness your daughter is sensible.
Yeah. Well, and the good news is she doesn't listen to this podcast, so she'll never hear about it. So there was Tracy Morgan was famously in a traffic accident where he got hit by a truck. But so there's a lot of traffic related stuff. But
oh my goodness,
it's New Jersey Turnpike. It's not.
What about the National Transportation Safety Board?
So that's certainly a possibility, but I don't think it's going to be. I think going straight to Brooklyn will probably get us there quicker. Because the National Transportation Safety Board is kind of like going less specific. And quite frankly, I don't know the degree to which they have jurisdiction over things like mass transit versus like highways.
Right. So I'm just going to double check further down the page and make sure that he didn't do something on the L, or, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
there
make
is a
sure
list
that
of people from Bedford Stuyvesant, Brooklyn. People with traumatic brain injuries.
Oh no!
Yikes! I'm guessing that's from the auto accident that he was in.
Yeah. What's he up to these days?
He's got a TBS comedy called The Last OG, which I have not seen. He's a funny guy, though.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, we got to go to Brooklyn, right?
We can go to Bedford Stuyvesant, or Bed-Stuy as it's known, or we can go to Brooklyn. I'm fine with either. I think Brooklyn's probably a safer bet, but
yeah, I feel like I would agree with that. Where do you see Brooklyn?
So directly on the right-hand side at the top of the page is a picture of Tracy Morgan, and beneath that,
yeah,
it says he was born in Brooklyn, New York, and Brooklyn is linkable there.
Okay, awesome. You guys know like all of the different places to like search. My eyes get overwhelmed sometimes on Wikipedia pages.
Totally makes sense. All right, here we are at Brooklyn.
Oh, come on. Please be on here. Please.
There's got to be, I would imagine there's going to be a section here about mass transit.
There's got to be. How famous is the L? Is it very famous?
Well, it's funny because when you mention like the L in reference to mass transit, I immediately go to Chicago because they call the subway system there, they call it the L, meaning short for the elevated train, even though parts of it are underground. But just like in London, it's called the Tube. In Chicago, it's called the L. But in New York, and again, no expert by any means, but my understanding is all of the subway lines have letters named after them. So there's the A train, the F train, the B train. There's a famous Duke Ellington song, "If you take the A train, you'll know the quickest way to get to Harlem," which for a long time was the only song that I knew how to play on the piano. I will say, though, that there is a transportation section on the Brooklyn page. And if we go down to that, it lists a number of enticing possibilities. And I'm searching it desperately, trying to see if there is a mention of the L train, and I'm not seeing it. And that frustrates me so much.
God.
I feel like it's got to be around here, though.
I mean, it has to be. So there is, if you go to geography, there is a bunch of like different places listed. There's the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel.
There is a link to the New York City subway system.
Which, I saw that too.
Yeah.
I just really want it to be linked on this page. I don't want to go to another page. And not that I'm not having fun with you.
No, we're trying to win here.
Jethro, but right. Fun is not the winner. No. Winning is the winner.
I mean, that's right. Fun is what the listener is here for. But sorry, listener, you get a backseat to our bloodlust against our spouses.
You get a 5-minute episode. We get the joy of winning.
I think the nice thing, Emma, is there's no chance in hell that any episode that I'm on is going to be a 5-minute episode. That is my promise to you, listener. All right. There are a couple of specific stations that are mentioned, but none of them, when you see the pop open, none of them mention the L train. Although there is a link that says out of the 170 currently in Brooklyn, talking about the subway service trains, but that just links to New York City subway.
Oh, okay.
So that's the same.
There's a place.
Although there's a different
Dumbo?
picture. Interesting. So when you hover over the first New York City subway link, it shows you. It talks about the New York City subway as a rapid transit system owned by the city of New York. Yada 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 yada. When you hover over the 170 currently in Brooklyn, it's got a similar description, but a totally different picture. So I'm not sure which would be the better route out between those two.
I just hovered over the image of Coney Island
Yeah.
in Stillwell Avenue, and it has railroad south terminus for the D, F, N, and Q trains.
Here we go.
Oh, maybe it could be linked.
It's possible. It is possible.
The Brooklyn Army Terminal. That's not what we need.
Not at all.
The streetcar, come on. Don't want to talk about the L somewhere? The L New York City subway service.
I mean, I feel like it's got our best chance is one of those links in the transportation area.
Mm-hmm. I would
like
agree with
that's
that.
The best possibility, unless there is something else at the bottom of the page that tells us which way to go. I'm not seeing it. Any categories? Maybe there's a great category here. Interesting is so at the bottom, if you go down to the little purple thing, they have links to related articles. And if you click show, there's a bunch of different article categories that pop up.
Oh.
And one of them is New York metropolitan area, which really just has the name of a bunch of neighborhoods and cities and towns. There's neighborhoods in Brooklyn. Like, I don't know. And I'm sure Brooklyn is a large place, so it's probably served by a number of subway lines. So I don't know which ones are.
We're looking for the L line. That's the song that I made up.
That's a really great one. It's a banger.
Yeah.
They say. Gosh. All right. So I see two possibilities. I see New York City subway as one link that we could click that would get us onto something that would likely, have information on there. And then I also see down below the 170 currently in Brooklyn, which could possibly get us there. You have a strong feeling about either of those?
I don't. I think that the subway may be a better way to go, because it may just give us, I feel like whenever I do this, I'm like, maybe we'll find somewhere that has just a list of names of things. But I'm wondering if that might be the case with the subway.
I like New York City subway. I agree.
Yeah.
And also the benefit of this, it's not a choice that Matt would make. Matt would be like, no, we got to go through one thing that's going to have this dream thing that I think is going to exist there. And then it never does. And then we're very sad.
You think that Matt is going to take Kristy on some terrible, terrible walk through Star Trek?
No, definitely. They'll definitely have a Star Trek.
It's a good job that this wasn't a Seattle train, because I'm pretty sure one of the Star Trek films was based in Seattle.
There we go. I'm sure Matt will let us know if that's the case. All right. So New York City subway under the public transport section.
I see it. Yep. Let's do it.
Let's go. Here we go.
All right. Let's find it.
All right, we are here.
New York City Transit Authority.
It is the seventh busiest rapid transit rail system in the world.
Whoa. Oh my God.
What?
Is that it? Is it the L? Where? The L 14th Street. It's not the L.
Where? No, where are you looking?
Scroll down, lines and routes. Oh, routes. Sorry, as we say in the UK.
Lines and routes. Here we go. All right. So there is a list of New York City subway lines that's listed there. No, the L is listed there.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't think it's the same L.
There's only one L train.
But yeah, it just, if you hover over it though, is that the correct one?
Yeah.
Is it going to be the correct link?
Yeah, there's only one L train.
Oh. I don't know. Like we ride horses and riding buggies and stuff over in the UK.
How long has it been since you went back home? I think they've upgraded the technology since.
It's been a couple years.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay. I mean, so we should click on L.
Yeah. So just for the listeners, if you're playing along at home, we're under lines and routes. They're the third paragraph down. Talks about the 1C, G, L, M, R, and W trains are all fully local and make all stops. So we are clicking on the L that is linked there.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And
oh my
there
God.
we go. Look at that.
We did it.
Look at that. New York cities. The New York subway service.
Wow. It's never happened this fast before.
Well, I get that a lot. You're welcome.
I'm not sure how to feel.
I get that a lot too. You wouldn't be the first person I've disappointed.
All right.
We need to tally up the number.
Great.
So we went from Larry Sanders Show to 30 Rock to Tracy Jordan to Brooklyn to New York City subway to L train. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 links. That's not bad. That's not
it's
bad.
not.
It's a little below average overall for us, and it's not far off from our guess of 4. So I feel like we were aggressive with the guests, but we've done well.
I mean, yeah, that's not bad. But one thing I have to say is that if we don't win, then we've clearly, pointed out the weak link in this whole
not at all.
In this whole podcast partnership thing we've got going on.
That's not true at all, because I probably have more social pressure to be polite to you than I do to either Matt or Kristy. Like Kristy, we've been married 20 years, so it's over for us as far as like we just are happy to shout at each other. And Matt, since part of our comedy dynamic is constantly razzing each other, we've accustomed to that. Whereas you're a friend and somebody I have not known long enough to just start to treat like shit, like I do all human beings. So,
well, for fuck's sake, Jethro, if you'd have done that from the fucking beginning, then maybe we'd have gotten it in 4.
Well, Jesus Christ, you gigantic bitch. Yeah.
There you go.
All right,
you couldn't even do that with a lot of conviction. You tried so hard.
we'll work harder on that for the next episode. Well, I'm still excited. I think we got a good chance at winning here, and we learned a little bit about Mr. Tracy Jordan, and I feel comfortable with the path that we took. I feel like we went a little geographic, but I feel like given the destination, we kind of had to.
Yeah. And I'm totally fine with it. I don't care which route we take as long as it's the winning one. So Boomtown, hopefully they get it in 6.
Well, you know what, listeners, you're going to have to wait until next week to determine whether or not Kristy and Matt can match the very high bar that's been set by Emma and I. So you'll have to stay tuned to your podcast device for the exciting conclusion of Drunkard's Walk, the wife swap episodes.
Ooh. Bye, everyone.
Hey everybody, Matt Hartman here again for Drunkard's Walk. Thanks so much for listening. We want to say a big thank you to Jesse L.E. for the theme music that he wrote, and of course to Nick Jaramillo for the artwork that he designed for us. And we want to thank everyone who gave us a nomination for the Pittsburgh Magazine Best of the Burgh. We have moved on to the next round this year, so we are in the top 5 or something along those lines. But anyway, you can go on and between April 4th and April 30th, you can actually give us a vote to win the Best of the Burgh award this year. So if you'd like to do that, you can either go to our Facebook page and follow the pinned post that is at the top there, or you can head on over to pittsburghmagazine.com, look for their Best of the Burgh Readers Poll, and then click on the little link to vote now. It's like right near the top of the page when you get there, and go to personalities and follow that down to Best Podcast, and you can vote for Drunkard's Walk. So we'd really appreciate it if you want to do that. Also appreciate any ratings or reviews you're willing to give us on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And we really thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Take care, everybody.